Maybe.
Kind of, sort of.
This is the Hype Podcast. I am the host with no name.
I'm DJ Oh So Fresh.
And we're kicking it with you every single week right here on the Hype. And ladies and gentlemen, do we have a great show for you today?
And we always have a great show for you. Fuck if you don't like our show, stop listening now.
We're going to update you on some NBA injuries, legislation here in Washington, the new Bel Air preview.
The Fresh Prince is back.
Oso's DJing birthday parties, and a big hit from Will Smith just came out, and it is not what you think. And today on the Hype,
I got a comment on this tease that they call that a tease when he introduces all the crap we got to talk about. Number one, I've DJed birthday parties for years. That's not interesting. I DJed a birthday party.
Let me stop you.
I taught DJing at a birthday party.
Let me stop you because today our hot topic is all about censoring free speech. So I'm going to censor you right now.
Well, you're not going to censor the fact that you went double Will Smith. I don't know. That's why I don't let you do the prep sheet. I mean, what the fuck?
But before we get into all that,
Fresh Prince of Bel Air and Will Smith,
before we get into all of this nonsense that Oso's spitting, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Hype Podcast, or hit us up on the Hype line. It's 503-776-0167. Give us your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, as long as they're within the realm of what Oso and I think and feel.
Feel free to call, and you can call collect. Yeah, just 503-776-0167. Call collect. If you're in jail listening to the podcast, I appreciate it. And you know what? Stay strong. 10 toes down. You'll get out one day.
Let's make an album over the phone.
Oh, old school Mac Dre. Old school Mac Dre. We do got that Oakland funk going on.
Dude, and Oakland funk, to me, is just like telling a girl her pussy stinks. Just say it.
Whoa, you're starting early.
Yeah, I am.
So how do you even get to that point? I mean, the timer says 3 minutes, and we goofed around for about a minute and a half. So we are probably a minute and some change into the show, and you want to talk about a woman's vagina
parts
having an undesirable odor.
You want to know how I get there? Because I'm a fucking hot mess. And let me tell you what I mean by that. When I call somebody a hot mess, that just means you're a bit scatterbrained. Maybe you're wearing the same sweatshirt 3 days in a row. Maybe you just got in off the road the other night. You haven't slept very much. You haven't been eating healthy. So you're just a bit out of whack.
Why are you describing my life right now?
Yeah.
Once again.
Let me break it down for you. So the other day, I'm having a conversation, and I didn't know this beforehand. So let me give you a little backstory as I drop shit and knock shit off your table like a fucking cat. So I'm talking to this young lady, and in conversation, she's telling me, well, yeah, just last year, I was getting DUIs, smoking cigarettes, sleeping with people that I'd never sleep with sober. Man, it just feels so good being sober. Like I was borderline going to rehab, and I was like, wow, I'm glad you're not that hot mess anymore. And she's like, I wasn't a hot mess. I was doing the same thing.
I will fuck you up, Angela.
That 20 of my friends were doing. So I wouldn't consider that a hot mess. And I just kind of started laughing and was like, well, you got 20 hot mess ass friends.
Why did I not stumble into this stable of hoes when I was 25?
Yeah. Where was this platoon of whores when I was around? No, and so...
Hey, you guys, we all could have got drunk together. You guys could have passed me around.
Like a frisbee, baby.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah. Well, no. So I sought counsel from a brother who's been in the game quite some time.
Just because he's black, you had to call him a brother?
No, my best buddy Alvin.
Okay.
And so I'm like, hey, when did be like calling someone a hot mess become the equivalent of calling him a cunt? And he starts laughing and goes, and I sent him, like the whole story. So it wasn't just like, oh, hey, what's this and this? And he goes, Yeah, you can't call bitches hot messes anymore. I was like, you can't call bitches bitches.
Hold on. So check this out. Because when you brought this to me and said, what's worse? You said,
right,
cunt or hot mess. And then when I had to put it all in context, to me, calling a woman a hot mess would mean that she's a whore and her vagina stinks. Like, because that means you don't have your shit together. Like, calling her a hot mess is mean if you have kids, your kids are dirty. You know, I mean, really, you're just...
Dude, all a hot mess means is you don't have your shit together.
The worst thing you could ever do to a woman is call her unkept. Even a crack whore. If you call her unkept, you walk up to a crack whore on the street and tell her pussy stinks, she will be offended and slap you. Even though the rest of her is funky. I mean, she still may have the taste from the last dude she got down with, but you say her pussy stinks, bam, you got a fight on your hands. And that's a word from the Hype Podcast.
No, dude, I'm not going to back off this. I think cunt is far worse.
No, you can't have any of my
hot.
applause. You can't have any of my applause.
No, I think cunt is far worse than hot mess. I'm just saying. You can't sit there and tell me that if I'm like, that fucking cunt, that she's not going to be like, what did you say? If I'm like, quit being a hot mess.
But you have to go with how people, what words mean to people. Like it means because in some places you can say cunt and it's like no big thing. Like, oh no, you say it, but you say it other places around other people. I've seen women cringe if you use the word cunt. Like literally, physically cringe. Like, I am disgusted that word's even being uttered. Like, that is the worst word in the world. Actually, there's probably people listening to this podcast or that were listening to this podcast until we said the word cunt. So it is not, I mean, don't fuck around, boy, and don't go around telling women that they have unkept vaginas when you call them a hot mess. That is the moral. No, you don't have a reply. Fuck you.
I'm instituting a ancient tradition.
Ancient, like
right now. We are going to censor the phrase hot mess and cunt. We're going to censor the word. We're going to censor them both. New rules on the Hype Podcast. You can't say hot mess or cunt.
There's 2 rules on the Hype Podcast, and I must refresh you if you're a new listener. We don't talk about rape, and we don't talk about cancer.
Just did. So let's get into that 5 minutes of funk before we get in trouble.
I don't know. That bitch sounded like she was more than willing.
This week on the 5 minutes of funk, we're going to kick it off with sports, and there are some super mega injuries going on in the NBA. Our very own CJ McCollum might end up being like a Paul George or a Gordon Hayward. He had somebody come down on the outside of his ankle last game, and he didn't get up under his own power.
So for a Paul George or a Hayward, what happened was somebody, their shit actually like broke in the game.
Yeah.
Like Gordon Hayward, his foot twisted around backwards. I mean, we're just on some real...
His foot got an exorcism.
Yeah, his foot looked like it was going towards the other basket.
Yeah.
And Paul George, his leg just snaps.
Yeah.
And when you see these kind of injuries, they're horrible. I hate to see it happen to anybody, but you know that messes up our chances in the postseason. And I'm a team guy. Hey, fuck that guy. We gotta get another one.
Dude, I hate seeing that shit like that happen to players, but you know what? You got better health insurance than me, and you got millions of dollars. So you know what? Sacrifice your body.
Because motherfucker, you could lose a leg and still be doing better than my ass.
Next up, we got politics, and you should be happy to know that this year, the Senate Bill 5062, for now, is dead. And here in Washington, what that would mean is that would mean limiting capacities to your firearm magazines for certain firearms and limiting the sale of firearms in other areas and certain genres of firearms. For example, rifles, pistols, things like that. You would be very limited on what you could and could not buy in the state of Washington. But guess what? They failed to get a floor vote, so it's dead till at least next year.
Hey,
Stock up.
I really don't have a dog in the fight, but How many bullets do you need? I mean, if you're trying to kill something,
There is 7.5 billion people on this planet, and when the zombies come, 90% of us are going down.
Hey,
you need one for each zombie.
if you can't kill some shit with 10 bullets, I mean, maybe you need a new hobby. Because if you failing like that, man, I can't think of another hobby. I mean, what if you're a woodworker and every time you made a set of shelves, they were like lopsided. You did that. If you did that 10 times in a row, you'd be like, maybe woodwork's not my shit. Maybe shooting's not your shit, my friend.
Next up in entertainment.
So I was taken back this week because I saw a trailer for a new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, truly fucking amazed.
Bel-Air, not Fresh Prince, nothing. Just Bel-Air.
Oh, it's just called Bel-Air.
Bel-Air.
Well, it takes off. It's a reboot, as they call it, of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air from the 90s. We're all familiar. Hey, we all love Aunt Viv, the old one and the new one, right? Whoa, yeah. But I watched this trailer and I was blown away. I mean, it was a dark retelling of it. I mean, instead of Will just getting in some corny fight, no, Will's at the park. He gets into a fight and has a gun in his bag. And I mean, that's just enough. You have to go look this up online, or our guy can leave you a link. But to really fuck it all up, the shit was fake. The most epic trailer I have seen in a long time was fake as fuck. I mean, it's
and
like
by fake, you mean what?
like there's no real movie.
What?
Like, dude, I was going to subscribe. Whatever service I had to subscribe to, I got to get the Hulu Plus now to see this fucking movie? Fuck yeah. That shit was worth the price of admission 10 times over. Amazing. It had you fooled too, because I was like, yeah, did you see it? You're like, yeah, that shit was on point. And then I'm like, yeah, it's fake. It's phony. Fugazi.
You failed us. You failed us, Fresh Prince.
Somebody get the law.
Yeah. Next up, we got local news.
No, it's not really local news. I mean, I had to teach a class of 10-year-olds, supposed 10-year-olds. It was a 10-year-old birthday party at the school, and I had to teach these kids how to use turntables. I have 8 kids, and I have 8 turntables, and it is a hot mess. No, but not in that sense. I'm not talking... sorry, you got that shit in my mind. But it is freaking crazy, and I got Hip Hop Dad. Mr. Hip Hop Dad, he's like, yo, I got to have a hip hop party for my kid. Okay. And then he walks in with a Brooklyn shirt on and says, hey, I lived in Brooklyn for 6 months. I know all about hip hop. And this man...
6 whole months?
6 whole months. This man, over the course of this lesson, continues to misquote things about hip hop, and I have to correct him in front of his son. I hate to correct a man in front of his fucking son, but shit, get your shit straight. Get your shit together. If you want to pass this on to the next generation, at least have your facts right. Man... I mean, because this shit he was talking about, that's why cavemen didn't progress that quickly. Because his shit was like drawings on the wall. It was real open for fucking interpretation.
Next up, and last but not least, number 5. Now that's news, and you're not going to believe this. Well, I mean, you might. Will Smith's first attempt at stand-up just came out. It's about a 20-minute video. He takes you through this entire process with Mr. Dave Chappelle, the master himself, teaching him how to do stand-up. Now, let me tell you something. If I had Dave Chappelle teaching me about stand-up, motherfucker, I could do stand-up too. Okay?
Now, we did watch this clip together. You can check it out on Facebook.com. Now, Will Smith, I thought he was good. I didn't think he was the best. I thought he'd actually be funnier.
For a first attempt at stand-up, I think he was pretty good.
I think it's only funny if you're a Will Smith. It's really funny if you're a Will Smith fan, but if you were just a regular ass person, you'd be like, eh.
And let me tell you, he's looking a little out of shape these days. For a 50-year-old man, he's looking pretty out of shape right now. Just saying, Will, you might want to get that cardio in and set the booze down. Just saying.
You know, you made millions of dollars. Shit, you can just go ahead and booze it up. Shit, if Jada leave, you can buy you another Jada. I mean, Jada's that's shit. You could buy something better than Jada if she leave. I mean, let's be fucking honest. I mean, shit. I can't criticize a man at 50. Number one, he survived to 50. Number two, He's made millions of dollars, and there's still checks coming in. There's still until he gets caught touching little kids. There's still gonna be Fresh Prince checks coming in. So, hell yeah, booze it up. I mean, fuck you. You could. I mean, goddamn, you could look like fucking Archie Bunker. Fuck, you got millions, buddy.
And that is this week's 5 Minutes of Funk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, in light of coming out of that, I just got to tell you, you might want to tone it down. We don't need Will Smith to hear us talking shit about him and want to fucking sue us. All right, we don't have millions of dollars.
Please sue me.
Yeah.
Sue me in the summertime. Then somebody actually listen to my goddamn show.
I was actually just gonna say,
because
Grammy Award winner Will Smith sues local podcast.
If we were gonna get sued, we got sued a long time ago. You must not listen to the whole show because we offend everybody. There's weeks I'm concerned about my own personal safety because I've been on this podcast talking a lot of shit about people I know personally and locally.
Well, let me tell you. You introduced something to me a little bit earlier, and I did a little research on it. And one of the places on the internet that you can really just go, be anonymous, talk some shit, put on some very controversial, funky shit, is starting to march to the Facebook drum here, where they're going through and they're removing content that they just don't really like.
You know what? We're at it again. We're going to talk about free speech. Oh, yeah.
This week, Reddit decided they were going to jump on board with Facebook here and just start removing some subreddits that they don't like.
Well, here's how it goes down. So we have a horrible tragedy in New Zealand last week.
Wah, wah.
Please. Show more respect than that.
Dude, it's 50 people out of like 7 billion, and I don't know any of them. If I knew someone, I'd be hurt. I'd be upset.
That's why we keep you on the show, because you're a stand-up guy. Stand-up guy. So this guy gets down, and while he's doing it, he streams on Facebook Live, and people captured the video. And Facebook has spent the last few days taking down people trying to post the video.
So if you're not familiar with this New Zealand tragedy, a man walked into a mosque streaming live. Two mosques. And, well, I mean, not at the same time. Yeah. But he walked into two separate mosques and lit up the place. Now, and let me tell you, in that part of the world, from what I understand, it is very difficult to get a firearm. Not impossible, but the type of firearm that he had, he probably shouldn't have had that one in that particular instance. And what I mean by that particular instance, the Australia and New Zealand, it is very, very difficult to get firearms. And the penalties over there are a lot higher than they are here. I have friends that live in Australia, and they say it's damn near impossible to get firearms without a ton of restrictions that they want to implement here in the U.S. So thank God that bill didn't pass here in Washington.
Well, I'm saying with this, Reddit has spent a lot of time trying to keep the video from being uploaded. And, you know, the video is in bad taste. Don't get me wrong. But
how is it in bad taste? Riddle me this. Give me your thoughts on that. Why is it in bad taste?
I think it glorifies what he did.
How does a video of a man doing something terrible glorify what he's done? The news glorifies these fucking people every day. Every single day. The media comes out, well, this man recorded this heinous incident. We're not going to play a clip of the video for you, but you can find it online. Go fuck yourselves. Dude, the media glorifies all that shit. You just mentioned before the show, the DC sniper's back in the news. Why is this motherfucker back in the news? Oh, because they're giving him a new sentencing hearing? No, because it's entertainment.
So are you saying that what happened in New Zealand wasn't newsworthy?
No, what I'm saying is the moment you put these fucking people on the news, you're glorifying them. You are giving the world, you're putting the world on notice that this one person did some fucked up shit.
So the subreddit that he took down was called Watch Someone Die.
Okay.
Which is similar to what I don't know if you're old enough, you remember this video called Faces of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, like watching it, pretty much that subreddit, in my opinion, probably was just like watching Faces of Death, which is, to me and my friends growing up, it was a rite of passage. It was like one of those things you watched and you were never the same after you watched Faces of Death.
That's my point. You were never the same, right? Unless you're a fucking sociopath, you watch that shit one time, you're not going back there to fucking watch it over and over again. And guess what? By taking down that subreddit, you have literally just screwed up your chances of tracking all the fucking psychos in the U.S. Well done, U.S. government. Well done. Because guess what? If I watched that video, I would probably fucking vomit.
Yeah.
Because that's a real life shit, and that's a normal human response. If I go fucking click on it 36 times, you might as well think I'm fucking masturbating to that shit, okay? Listen, if people watch stuff like that one time, that is going to give you a very clear view of who's a nutcase and who's not.
Well, where did we take a vote to decide what was too vulgar to be seen?
That's what I'm saying.
Because that's where, because there's this label of public decency that constantly changes, but I had no say in.
And you're going to sit here and tell me, not you specifically, but you're going to sit here and tell me that news media can fucking tell me about this, but I can't go learn about this on my own? I can't.
That's something you really can look at because they do set the tempo. Because they set the tempo.
They set the tempo, the mood, everything.
Because their tempo dictates up to the lawmakers.
Yeah.
Because they'll bring something up and they'll ask the lawmakers, why is this? Why is it? So if Facebook wouldn't have done anything and just let the video run and be copied or whatever, and YouTube, they all would have just let the video be posted.
Yeah.
Then the media would have come out because they do not have the scoop. They do not have that market cornered on this specific video. Then they would go ahead and complain to the lawmakers. Well, why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you allowing this to be on these platforms? So it's all just a game.
Dude, it is. Dude. Okay, take, for example, the Russell Westbrook incident.
Yeah.
The outburst that he had against the Utah fan earlier this week.
Yeah.
On camera, Russell Westbrook threatens a fan. To his face. Threatens him and his girlfriend.
I will fuck you up and your wife up.
Yeah. So he threatens them on camera, right? We don't exactly know what was said via this particular video. We don't know what the fan said to him, right?
Yeah.
Via this video. All you hear is Russell Westbrook saying, "I will fuck you and your wife up."
I do remember hearing that.
Yeah. Okay. What happened to Russell Westbrook? He gets fined $25,000 and he gets a stern talking to. Okay. This fan gets banned for life from this building. Not just from games in Utah, from the building. He can't go to any event in this fucking building. Now, no due process, no nothing. We don't know what the fan said to him immediately. We weren't there in the moment. Did Russell Westbrook say something to him prior to? Who knows? There was no thorough investigation about it, in my opinion. They just said, "Oh, well, this guy said this." Well, what did he say? In the context of what he said, you heard what he said. Tell me what the fan said to him. Do we know?
This was allegedly what was said was he told Russell Westbrook to go ice his knees. Russell Westbrook took it as get on your knees, go back where you came from. And then he said he had his wife repeat it.
Yeah, and if you watch the video, Russell Westbrook has his knees iced and wrapped, pacing on the sideline to keep the swelling down because they're athletes.
Yeah.
And, they have to take care of themselves constantly, unlike us regular folk. But you're going to sit here and give me, and this is in media. This has been all over the media. You're going to give me a one-sided video where you're only showing Russell Westbrook threatening this guy's life. You don't fucking show the other video if there was one, or give me context to what this guy said or didn't say to him.
Well, the other thing is after that they started going back through his tweets.
Yeah,
and he had made some tweets that were deemed to be racist. Without me, I don't know how many people they interviewed. Hopefully they had cause to do it. That he said what they thought he said and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also Westbrook is a sensitive twat.
Yeah,
or a cunt, if you will. I would call him a hot mess, but he's got millions of dollars, and he might threaten to beat me up too. So
and really, when you think about what he was quoted as saying, he wasn't that specific. Yes, there's a racial undertone to it.
Sure,
but he said, "Get on your knees, go back where you came from." So. Yeah, there's a way if you had a good lawyer, you could argue that wasn't racial at all.
Yeah,
if you got a good lawyer. I mean, yes, I get what it was implied. Yeah, go the fuck back to Africa. Get on your knees and shine some shoes, yo, monkey ass basketball player.
But it's a slippery slope.
Eat a banana and Space Jam a ball.
It's a slippery slope, and let me tell you why. Because all this nonsense is now even bleeding over into hockey. The fucking only pure sport left that we got. There was a hockey player who comes by, the ref blows a whistle for like, roughing the passer or fucking high sticking, whatever goes on in hockey. Comes by, blows the whistle, and how hockey players operate is they operate on a fucking Tourette syndrome foundation. He blows the whistle, says you get 2 minutes for high sticking. The guy looks at him and goes, you fucking fag, and goes to the penalty box. He was suspended, fined a whole bunch of fucking money for just talking shit in a very competitive game. I think this shit's nonsense. And the media, well, after homophobic slurs, this player should be under investigation and review and blah, 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 blah.
That's every league.
No, it's not every league.
No,
Hockey has never, it's never been in the fucking hot seat for shit talking. Hockey? Come on. They fucking fight each other in the middle of games.
Yeah, and that's, for some people, I think it's tough culturally because the culture has changed around them. And I get in trouble for giving people passes all the time. But, I mean, especially when it comes to that word. Oh, man, I think, dude, I was mid-2000s before I stopped using that. I wasn't saying that about people in the LGBTQ community. Glad I could get that out. I wasn't saying that about them, but no, especially, I mean, like, yeah, because it's, you talk about cunt or hot mess. I mean, yeah, for me to call you that and to mean it with you being a man's man. Oh yeah, that's a hurtful term.
All I'm getting at, dude, is you're gonna sit here and tell me, and I'm sticking with hockey for this prime example, that you're gonna tell me this barbarian fucking sport, the guy can't go in and be like, you fucking pussy, or you fag. You can't go in and say that shit in the heat of the moment, and afterwards,
now, you can call him a pussy, but calling him a fag, calling him a homosexual is not okay. You could call him a pussy. You could even call him a cunt. You could call him a hot mess, but do not call. I'm telling you, slurs are the new curse words. I can call you anything. I could call him a fuckface guy who takes hockey sticks up his ass. That's fine. I'm not getting banned. But the second I call him a fag, oh shit, hit the showers, buddy.
That's my point.
Pick up your 2 teeth you have left in your mouth and hit the fucking showers. We're not going to have this in fucking hockey. I could say something about fucking your mother with my best friend's dad's dick right there on the fucking ice. But I'm cool. As soon as I call you a fag, now you're out of here, buddy.
That's why it's a slippery slope, dude, is because you can you can literally say all that shit.
Ice is slippery.
Yeah. But the thing is, you don't get a moment to say, all right, my bad. I was emotional, or I was in the heat of the moment.
You got to avoid the confrontation.
Always.
Most high, you should buy her thank you card.
Always. When you're put on that fucking hot seat like that, imagine, if you will, that the internet wasn't a platform where everybody was just talking shit and a big badass, right? Like you're playing Call of Duty at 3 a.m. and the Korean kids saying, I'm going to fuck your mother and your dad in the ass, right? People don't do that in person anymore. We're so fucking sensitive nowadays that you can't say, you fucking fag. And people go, oh my God.
Well, I think what happened in Utah is kind of somebody trying to do that in person and it not working out well.
That's good. That's how it should be. If it doesn't work out for you too well, good, you learn a lesson, right?
I would think fans at sporting events, I don't sit up in the front row, and even working at the Rose Quarter, I wasn't in the front all the time, but at a sporting event, I would think they would yell all sorts of crazy shit at you.
Yeah. No, and that's my point. Like, action, consequence, right? That's fine. The guy can't come to any game or any event ever again. Cool. Russell Westbrook, you're not going to beat anybody's ass. You know how much trouble you get in for that?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to reverse on what they usually say. Just because I get paid a lot of money doesn't mean I should take some abuse. No, but you getting paid a lot of money means you should be able to show some type of composure.
Yeah, because there's a realm of professionalism.
Because I work in a retail setting, and if somebody came in and said that to me, I would not be able to reply in the same way.
I would just moonwalk the fuck away from him, counting my checks.
But that's all I could fucking do. You really think about it, on your job, you could get approached the exact same way or even worse. And you just gotta shut the fuck up. As a DJ, I've been told all sorts of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, the shit people have said to me. But if I said that to them, I wouldn't have a job. So that's where I'm like, you guys take this shit for granted. So I just want to say, protect your free speech. Pay attention.
Actions, consequences. We can't fucking stifle that, and we can't censor it, dude. That's how we have to be able to live our lives. Actions and consequences.
So I want to tell you, this week I learned something new. I learned what days that my job pays, because I didn't know that it was one of those things where I didn't sign up for direct deposit. Most places, they just have your check there waiting for you. I guess I had missed my check by like a week, and somebody was just nice enough to point out to me that I had a paycheck there. New job, so I thought, there was a little delay. No, but I learned that you should ask when your paycheck's going to be there, goddammit. That's what you should ask. How about you? What'd you learn this week?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, not necessarily today I learned, but this week I learned that, number one, you don't want to be driving on the freeway with 60-mile-an-hour crosswinds. And I learned what a cyclone bomb was, which is an extreme bout of weather where you get hurricane-style winds on land.
A cyclone bomb sounds like a really good drink or something I'd had to pay a person to do to me in Thailand.
You fag.
Hold up. Wait.
This is the Hype Podcast. I am the host of No Name.
I'm DJ Oh So Fresh.
We're kicking it with you every single week right here on the Hype. Hit us up. 503-776-0167. Leave us a message. Send us a Facebook message. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about free speech. And
It's time to go.
we're about to be out. So, shout out to Fortress Property Management, handling all your property management needs in the Portland metro area. Check them out, 503-752-8519 for all your property management needs. And go to thehypepodcast.com. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Libsyn. Rate us 5 stars. Will be easier to find. And we'll thank you and talk some shit about you.
You do need to rate us 5 stars. But no, once again, I gotta give a shout out to my friend Aaron. He does Fortress Fridays. Every Friday at noon, you go to the Fortress Facebook page and check him out live and talk shit. Like, come fix my plumbing in a non-sexual way.
And we're not talking about that building a pillow fort or cardboard fortress. We're talking about Fortress Property Management, bitch.
Yeah, this is built on rock, not sand. It lasts forever, like a Keith Sweat song. No R. Kelly songs, because I'm not trying to imply Fortress has anything to do with R. Kelly. But if you did rent to R. Kelly, make sure you collect the rent, because I heard he's bad at paying it. We out of here.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.